Yay, we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a nice conversation with one of my favorite humans and a super loved success story, Mariah, who we're going to just talk about what her journey was like so that you can hear and perhaps find different places that match what you're experiencing. And spoiler alert that Mariah's in an amazing relationship with a really cool unicorn guy. And, you know, this will kind of outline what she was going through and some of the breakthroughs she was able to have that you can have too. So, tell us, Mariah, a little bit more about you, and maybe you can reflect on some of the things that were going on when we first started talking about uh, creating a love relationship.
Yeah, well, the first time we started talking was a really long time ago. It was years and years ago, and I thought I had all my shit together. I'm like, I got this. I'm good. I'm happy. Like I can meet somebody. And then I had a couple little relationships here and there, and I realized I had some dark corners that kind of needed to be cleaned out in my approach to things, and it was all in my mindset as
Mhm.
well, and just opening up to what needed to be healed in myself, and how I could make my own life um, more vibrant and abundant. And I had these ideas in my head, and I was pretty much trying to self coach, and it didn't work. It didn't work.
Yeah.
And I think it was something your husband said. Larry said something once about that moment right before you're about to give up.
Yep.
And I was there. I was right on that moment. It was about a year ago, and I'm like, ah, that's me. That's me right now. I just want to give up. Like, it's too hard. It's too hard going online. It's too hard trying to meet people. It's too hard. And then, the other part where I always considered myself a little extra medium. Like, there's extra small and extra large, but there's no extra medium. Like, I felt extra medium.
Oh my God, I love that.
Like, a little too weird and a little too normal, and like there's no, who are my people in there? Like, where is that space in
Yeah.
between that of being a strange weird person, and also I'm 50 now. Like, I was 49. No, actually I was about 48 when we started this together. um about a year, because yeah, and
Yeah.
you bring in all the age stuff into that too, and it really messed with my mind, and I needed somebody to help me sort through that and figure out what my blocks were, because I was sure I was wrong on those, and I thought maybe it's just my toenails are too long or something. I don't know. Something random. So then that's when I finally am like, okay, Macy, let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that you share this extra medium thing because I think that that is, I can relate to that where you're feeling like, wow, like, how could someone be this combination of things that I be?
It's impossible, right? That's got to be impossible to find somebody that would fit with
Exactly.
this. And I could still feel free, like free to be myself, free to
Right.
be like, and not just free, but encouraged to be more of myself, whatever that is, just that freedom of um, creativity, or, failure or success, and just be completely supported in that.
Yeah,
Like, does
exactly.
that kind of mate even exist?
Right. Right. Well, I mean, I remember having a lot of conversations with you about that, like the space of, I really want someone that I'm attracted to and someone who matches the nerdiness and the success and is, all the things. And, what were some of the things that were running through your mind when you would look at people online or when you were thinking about dating? Was there kind of a track of chatter happening that you can recall?
I was actively looking for red flags more than things that I connected with.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I was setting myself up for failure and self-sabotage
Mhm. Yeah.
actively. Like it wasn't even
Yeah.
like, oh no,
No, I
this
yeah,
picture has a weird thing in the background. It must be XYZ. He's probably, really lame or wants to control me. Or
like
I
going
was
to the
really good at
worst
it. I was
thing.
so good
Yeah,
at it.
you were
Yeah.
pretty good at it actually. Yeah.
I was a butthole.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're looking at things and like really trying to convince everyone, me and you, that here's why it's not going to work. Here's why
Not
I'll
gonna
stay
work because
single forever.
I was
Yeah.
really committed to that story. I was super
Yeah.
committed to that story because then I'm the victim and it's not my problem. It's not my fault.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I am guessing there's people out there who are really, maybe lighting up about that one. They may not know that that's actually what they're choosing.
Yeah.
And,
But it's also a
but I
safe
see
place,
it a lot.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, because that's what I knew. Like, that was what I knew.
Hmm.
So I think somewhere in my mind, and, I felt like, okay, well, I know this, so I know how to navigate forward, knowing this. And all right, so I'll be alone. That's fine. I got a pretty good life set up, so I don't find this, amazing unicorn partner. That's okay. That's okay. And I told myself that over and over and over and over and over and over. So when I went online, it showed up and no, 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 no. Like I was really committed to sticking to that story.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
didn't know
mean,
there's
it
another
makes
way.
sense without doing some of the inner work stuff. I mean, that's really why, I created this kind of program for people because when the default is, oh my God, everyone is, I
Yeah.
could get hurt or, this is why it's not going to work, then you get to be single and it is safer and more cozy. So what did you notice changed for you? Like, what were some of those big breakthroughs that allowed you to go from like, the protection mode and the like, you're bad, 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 bad to, wow, this person is kind of interesting and leaning in a little more.
I think I feel like the biggest part of that was letting go of that ego that I was
Hmm.
holding on to, that I was going to be right. And there are so many things you said that just really helped pull me through that process and get me out of that. And I leaned into that. I leaned into, just trust Macy. She says to do this thing. It sounds kind of wacky and goofy, but I'm going
Hmm.
to do it because I trust her, and I trust you. And, opening up, I mean, there's so many things before we even got online that were so useful. And just, what was the one thing you kept telling me? Do you want to be right? What was it? Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that one makes me
Yeah.
mad. Yeah, I want to be happy. Both. Yeah. So,
Y-
it's like changing my definition of what right was as well. And, really embracing that this is something I really, really wanted. And
yes.
what work am I willing to do to get it? And here are, you laid out all these tools, so many tools that weren't just helpful for me getting over these blocks, but that were helpful now that I'm in this relationship. And they're needed. Like, we need these things. Like
Yeah.
him and I, we are so grateful that we have these tools to work with. And I don't know, like if I hadn't done that work before even getting online, I don't know how I wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have been able to stay in the relationship. Like
Yeah.
it's not just about, seeing the blocks and getting through them, but, having the tools once you do find somebody.
Exactly. I think that is the space that people have a hard time getting before being in the the space because it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, let's find someone who's great and what tools and practices can you bring to the relationship and with each other in order to grow and expand it. So I love that you shared that there were a lot of tools that you implemented and the reflection back because honestly, we can't see it. I mean, this is why I have
Yeah.
my own coaches too. I mean, we can't see when were
Lean
in
in.
the thing.
Yeah.
And when it comes to relationship and dating stuff, you had been practicing some of those things for quite a while, and being able to melt away some of those, I noticed that your success, I will acknowledge, in a big way, was your willingness to be wrong about the ways that you were functioning before,
Yeah.
and trying on, even though you were kicking and screaming. I'm not going to take that away from you, because you did a lot of that.
I did.
And there were
And
moments where, I could see that it was like stretching out into this new space. So then tell us about your dating journey and then meeting your person.
it was so hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was so hard, like what you said about, expanding and letting go and just being like, for me, it was being open to this whole other possibility. And, part of me was just scared of my life changing. Like, and what would that, how would it change? What would that look like? And is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good? And I would get in my head so hard. Um, but having you in my corner made all the difference. I don't want to sound like a commercial, but it really did. Just being able to get online and open up my horizons to men that I wouldn't even have thought of connecting with at all. And just shifting that whole viewpoint was fun. Like, it was kind
Yeah.
of fun. Like, where am I? Like, I wanted a weirdo too. Like, I'm a weirdo. I wanted a weirdo. Like, what shape or size is it going to come in? I don't know. Like, that was like, it made it more of a game for, how I love to gamify everything.
Yes.
It made it more of a game for me
Me
of,
too. Yeah.
ooh, like, what kind of, is he going to have like a super goofy looking dog, or, is he going to like have, I don't know, no hair, but maybe one piece sticking up? I mean, who knows? That could be fun. So that made it a lot more interesting and fun, and just kind of shifting it away from that place of fear and more into that place of creativity, creation,
Yeah.
and the possibilities. And then when I met my person, it was this poor man. He's so patient. Yeah, I was like you said, I was kicking and screaming, and I just remember you saying, maybe just ask a few more questions. Maybe just see him one more time, ask a few more questions. Just try something else out. I'm not telling you like you have to stick with this guy. That was the other thing too that I love that you gave me was you kept reminding me I always have a choice.
Yes.
And for some reason that just calmed my nervous system down. I'm like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I always have a choice. All right, I've been on a few dates with this guy. I still have a choice. We've been together for, I don't know, like 8 or 9 months now. I still have a choice. He still has a choice. And part of that is, like it's really come ingrained in our communication because, you know what, let's work through things. Let's not get mad at each other instead, and let's talk and communicate.
Communicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love, you said a couple things I want to highlight, because I think this is something I hear a lot. One, that sense of, oh, well, if I do have someone, am I going to have to lose all of the space and time? And for a lot of us who are empaths and maybe even a little introverted, and that doesn't even matter. It's like anywhere where we feel like we're going to lose something, then of course we're going to push it away, because our body wants to protect that space. But I know that you expanded into more possibilities of, okay, what if this person could actually make my life easier, greater, more fun? And I mean, there's a lot of evidence of that. I definitely want you to share some of that. So that was one thing. The other thing that I love that you mentioned was this being open to um, them showing up in a different way, looking differently. And I hear everyone screaming already out there going, I don't want to date someone I'm not attracted to. That's not what this was. This was an exploration of, okay, what do
Compassion.
I really value? What's really fun for me? Also, spoiler alert, your guy is super attractive and hot, and how does it get any better? Um, so, that was the second one. Was there a third one?
Choice.
Yes, yes. The really, you know, I I I think it's o I hope it's okay if I say this. If not, we'll cut it out. Um, but that you just had a habit of, like you said earlier, the red flags, like, okay, I have to cut it off now. Oh, this is too tiring. I got to cut it off now. Like a kind of reactive
I'm
default
so patient.
system. And you're like, well, he didn't write me in time. I better cut it off now. Like, and just digging for any little thing and really, getting curious and stretching into being able to see who he really is. And I remember a point when you had something where you're like, well, this isn't going to work. And I was like, well, have you asked, shared, asked him if, and you're like, no, no, this was like, no, kick, 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 throw thing. Um, and, and you did. Do you remember that? You
Mhm.
asked. I think
I
it
did.
was you had surgery and you were like, I can't be in certain environments.
Oh, my eyes. Yeah.
And you're like, why are we going to this place? It's going to hurt my eyes. And um, so anyway, that was probably a side story, but do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. And um, he, he- asking him made all the difference. Then I learned that, he also has like ADHD and his focus can go anywhere at any moment. And what I needed to learn was that where his focus is isn't where his intention is. Like his intention is so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
So, when I start to get triggered by, well, I really don't much anymore. That
Yeah.
was really a beginning thing because I know he means so well. Like he really means well. And, if I put that first, I don't have as many triggers. It's like they just kind of melt away and, having that compassion and just understanding and asking the questions and communicating.
Well, and I will say what people underestimate is when someone's like into you,
He was
like
nervous
he
too.
is, yeah, nervous too, and he showed you that he really wanted to connect with you. He wanted to
Yeah.
get it right with you. He wanted to please you. He wanted to make you happy. So if we aren't allowing for that, then we kind of deprive someone of the one of the greatest
Yep.
gifts of the relationship space, which
Yeah.
is being able to contribute to another person.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, what would you say? Like, tell me about it now. Like, what is life like being in love and having your person by your side?
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's, like just last week, and I'm like, yeah, I feel so free around you. It feels so, so good. And we probably say that to each other almost every day. Like, this just feels good, feels healthy and strong. And knowing that he's there for me, like, I have no question in my mind. And that's just something I didn't have before. And it's made my life so much more rich and abundant. And, being able to be there for each other and support each other, like, it's everything. It's
Yeah.
everything. It's so beautiful and so wonderful. And, I know, like you were saying about him wanting to either do good by me or, like do nice things for me. And I feel the same way. Like, what else can I do for him now? Like, I want to, oh, he loves root beer poop gel. Get him another one of those.
Oh,
Just like those little things and the little stuff. But yeah, the support and having a partner, it
yeah.
really, it's pretty incredible.
Yes. Oh my
And
God, I love your relationship. I
I
love
just
it.
wanna go back and hold the me from last year and be like, "It's okay, girl. It's
Yeah.
okay, you know, just it's okay."
Well, what would you tell other people who are sort of in that edge? Because I know sometimes there can be some like, "Oh, well, I should just know how to do this," or it'll just happen. I mean, what do you know now that you can share that maybe other people could benefit from hearing?
Listen to Macy, everything.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, I feel like it's too hard to do alone.
Yeah.
Like, there's we have too many old stories and blocks that we're unaware of, and to have a partner to, help you through it, and, like, just when you hopped online with me and we went man shopping, it's like
Yeah.
it was fun, and it not only was it fun, but it, like, opened up my mind and my horizons to all these other people I was missing out there, and plus it's so easy to be, well, disappointed, and it's so easy to be dismissive
Mhm.
and forget that these people, these other profiles, yeah, there's a couple fake ones out there, but really there aren't that many.
Yeah.
They're humans too, and they're
Yeah.
looking for something, and they may not be very, this is something you told me. He may not be very good at it. He may not be a
Yeah.
very good, dater, like your guy. And that changed, that was almost a game changer for me. Like, oh, so he may not write the best stuff. He may have horrible pictures up. I'm a photographer. Like, that's something that just, oh God, it's
Yeah.
every once in a while, uh, he'll tell me like, oh, you had such great pictures up, and I'm like, yours were okay-ish.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
if I were going just off his pictures, I mean, he was a good looking guy. So, but still, it's like he had sunglasses on and hats, and well, I couldn't see you. But it
yeah.
worked out for me, so I'm good with it.
Right.
But yeah, it's, that compassion and that empathy, can really help find that person.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true. And it's not equating it to, oh, you have to give everyone a chance, but there's something there. And, if you're not looking to drop the axe at every corner, then you
That was
can
me.
discover. And the other thing that I noticed about you and what I know about being in this super loved program that I created because I know for myself I needed something like this, is that our personality, our true like loving being gets to come out when we relax, when we're having more fun. And oftentimes, after collecting failed relationships or, getting to a point in life where it feels like maybe I'm going to have to give up, which is what I felt too. So I relate to that. Same with Larry, same with most of the women who come to me. There's have an edge of like, ugh, should I just like adopt 15 cats and just call it a day?
You might like
Which I
15
would do that
cats.
anyway, and
Yeah.
Larry and I probably will, but, um, but but, it is about relationship. So in the coaching relationship, you get to be you. You get to be seen, you get to relax, you get to have more fun, we have fun, and that is what we're asking for, right? We're asking for someone who just sees us for who we are, and even when we are kicking and screaming about certain things that it's like, "Okay, you can do that. That's fun for now, and what else can we do?"
Yeah.
And transform that. So I'm so grateful that and so honored, frankly. I'm just so honored that, I could do this with you and see you guys and your,
He wants to give you a big hug too,
amazing
by the way.
oh my god, I cannot wait to meet him in
Yeah.
person.
I've
It's
told
gonna
him
be
about
so
all my
great.
kicking and screaming. He's like, "I wanna give her a big hug
Oh
for
gosh.
bringing more love into the world."
Oh, yeah, I definitely, um, remember a couple times when I'm like, "I just really like him, I know he's good." Um, so thanks for sharing your
Thank you, Macy.
experience
Thank you so much.
and, um inspiring other people to create change in their love life, which is, You know, I mean, could you put a price on what you have with your person right now?
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel
No,
that way. Yeah. So, life and love is easier and everyone deserves it. So, thanks for
yeah.
sharing your story. Thanks for
Thank you.
listening out there. And, you know, if this is something that you're like, yeah, I'm sick of doing life alone. I'm sick of trying to figure this out myself. It's because you're not meant to figure it out by yourself. It does require stepping into some space where you can relax, be more of you, and get rid of all of the lies and fears that are actually sabotaging your love life. I mean, that sounds harsh, but it's true. And you can change that. So if you'd like to have a conversation about what that could look like for you, message me, reach out to me. I'm sure there's something somewhere around this video, whatever we did with this, that you can access. And I'd love to have a conversation. So thank you. Thanks, Mariah. Bye, everyone.